What it do? It's your boy, Illuminated D. And you know what I'm saying? We back with another one. The first thing I want to do is thank you to everybody who's liked and commented. And to all the subscribers, Pops and I want to let you know how much we really appreciate you. For you to come and spend your time with us and to consume the content. While we understanding that you have busy lives, we want to thank you and bless. Do y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, go ahead, Pops.
Well, everybody, they call me Pops, but I'm Big D whenever I drop the content. Hope y'all doing well out there in YouTube land.
Well, basically, they just invite me. So, my name is Pierre. So today we're gonna talk about what's going on with Elon Musk and our president, Donald Trump. So I think it's gonna be very interesting subject to talk about, and from there we'll go.
All right. Well, basically, pretty much how we kicked it off, I was mentioning that Elon Musk was upset because he felt that they didn't put his the ability to get the tax credit on the bill. So pretty much, I believe that Elon Musk was feeling attacked because in the Big Beautiful Bill, he was stating that this was modern day slavery. So how do y'all feel about this?
Well, because I have an EV and because I also have solar, you know what I'm saying? I'm kind of pro solar and EV, and I'll tell you why. See, President Trump, he thinks solar and EVs, he think that's kind of like gimmicky. He's an older white man that grew up in an era that if it don't run by oil and gas, what good is it?
Yeah,
So he has an outdated thinking. And I'm here to tell you that, yeah, we do have a lot of oil in this country. But
yeah,
if we keep listen, we got a lot of oil in the world. We have a lot of resources. But as you know, everything has a limit.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
not like when you use up all the oil or you tap all the oil that you got a way of it's going to instantly rejuvenate itself. That's not going to happen. Once it's gone, it's
yeah,
gone. And I know people always say, "Oh, it'll never happen." We can drill and store gallons and gallons of oil for days, years, but I'm telling you, we have to find an alternative power source, and we have to. You live in Florida, and you don't seriously consider solar. You might want to rethink that. Now, of course, I'm not saying put yourself in debt because it's you gotta weigh out all the factors because solar is not going to be a good fit for everybody. Like before I bought my current house, I lived in a two-story house, and you know I lived in a subdivision, and I didn't want to put it on my roof because in my mind I just didn't feel comfortable putting solar panels on my roof. But then when I moved and got land, now I got like a little
yeah,
small mini solar farm, where I live, and so it's ground mounted. So that was an ideal situation for me. And then once I decided to go, once I always wanted to go solar, but it was more solidified once I made up my mind to get my EV. Once I decided I was gonna get my Rivian, I was sold on it.
That makes sense. I mean, honestly, I do agree with you, Pops, because just looking at it, I don't know if the sun is going to go anywhere anytime soon. So when you
yeah,
got these bright states, it just kind of makes sense to get an alternative energy source, especially if you're able to feed the grid and you don't actually have to have an electrical bill because a lot of people are suffering through this electrical bill just in a hot place. You got to run AC. It gets hot.
Yeah.
It runs up those credits.
And you know something, another thing that's crazy. So what a lot of people don't understand, like on a day like today that was real sunny down here, it wasn't raining. I overproduced. I made more energy than what my house used. And
Mm,
I got my Rivian set to start charging at 8 o'clock in the morning when the sun comes up. And by 12 o'clock, I tell it's set to stop charging, but it's not going to take it because it's not like I'm going from all the way empty to 70, 80%. by the time I get home, I still got like 60%. I mean, really and truly, I don't have to charge. But in my mind, why not go ahead if I'm at like 50 or 60%, why not just go ahead and charge it up the 10 or 20% in the morning when the sun comes up? So then by the time I wake up, my Rivian's already charged up, and then I go about my day. But this is what I was getting at. People
Mhm.
don't understand that down here in Florida, man, our electrical grid is taxed. We have a man out here in the country. If the wind blow hard, the lights go out. You know what I'm saying? We have
Yeah.
power issues, and it's just that's just the way it is out here. So out here, man, if you don't have no electricity, you can't even use the bathroom because everything's it's on a well.
Yeah.
So my thing when I moved out here, I was like, man, I got some challenges. If the power go out, I can't even take a dump. So I mean, come on. And I didn't want to get a generator because in my mind, if I got an EV, why I want to be fooled up with a generator? And what the smaller generators that my neighbors have, man, that's only gonna probably run maybe they well so they can use the bathroom. But as far as like ceiling fans and all that, listen, the last hurricane, I know my neighbors hated me because I was the only one. All my lights was on, everything, the AC. I was like, man,
Mm,
this, and everybody, the whole place was dark except for my house
Yeah.
mm,
because I got
mm.
the backup battery too. So when power go out, my battery kick on. So what I was getting at is this: people that have solar, and on the days that you overproduce, that excess power goes back into the grid, and Tico is using
Yeah.
my power to help power the people that don't have solar. So it benefits people that have solar because it just strengthens the grid. Because all that excess power, the people that on the days, because on more times than not in the summer down here, you're gonna make more power than what you use, even running the AC, because the AC ain't running all day. Once it hit that set temperature, boom, it's gonna click off. But your solar's still creating power, and it's going right back into the grid that Tico is using to power my neighbors' houses,
What you
right?
think? What you think, Pierre?
Yeah. So I'm looking at some documents. The reason why Musk disagree like with Trump, or the reason why they divorce is not only fiscal concern over the national debt, and also like they impact like the big beautiful bill has on the EVs, and also that Doge basically Elon he's a pioneer of Doge, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that also with the bill, it's gonna undermine the government efficiency effort too. So, and the last one is gonna be the personal and politic fallout. So what we have to what interesting is at the beginning, Elon never think about stuff like that would happen. You know what I'm saying? So, and he even stated when they present the bill, it wasn't aware about it at all.
Mm.
So when he discovered that it's gonna go on, the bill does not go on his like way when it's come to the EVs, when it's come to the federal tax stuff like that, and this is where they broke up. So what I would say, um for him, it's something he didn't really think about that would happen, but in reality it happened. So now how to face something like that, these are people, they have money. Now it's a question about power. So me, I always focus on doing my research to find out, what I'm saying, what is good, to differentiate the good from the bad. But I think Elon is right. I mean, I'm saying it right now. I know, like, if you, not because like I like EVs too, what I'm saying, it's way better for the environment, stuff like that, and then you pay less money, what I'm saying. So but when it's come to the big beautiful bill, yeah, it's not a good thing.
You know,
It's not a good thing. So go ahead.
I think the problem that they're both having, in my head, honestly, I feel like going the EV route, going the solar panel route, that's more for, I'm gonna be honest here, it's more for a wealthier class individual. And then you have gas, which is more the majority of individuals because, like they say, once you get a nation on a specific track, it's kind of hard to change their thinking. So at some point, if you remember, Biden was saying he wanted to, at some point, like by 2030, he wanted all of the gas vehicles to be discontinued and everything to go towards electrical. Now, I do believe that this was going to be potentially a problem because we have China that has been working on our infrastructure. A lot of individuals from China have been working on our infrastructure for a long time now. So I think that in Trump's mind, what he felt if we go fully solar, because China pretty much is fully electronic at this point, supposedly. We don't really know because we're not there. We're not the ones dealing inside of the infrastructure and how they're building their cities and their nation. But what I'm looking at is everybody right now is using gas. So if everybody's using gas, then in his mind, he's like, well, why would we destroy something that's actually working for something that is potentially a potential risk that could be a risk to the whole nation, to the community, if they were to intercept our power grids, if they were to actually infiltrate and try to, pretty much do like a terrorist attack or something. So that's just my thought process. And then most people can't actually afford solar. So you can imagine if somebody's working 2-3 jobs, they really can't afford to have solar panels because you got to pay a bill just to get the solar panels, a monthly bill. And they trying to survive. They trying to pay their regular bills. They got to pay a car note, car insurance, food, probably got kids. You know what I'm saying? And most people don't have multiple streams of income. So in my mind, looking at it, I do think that the fully the full ability to be able to be your own power grid is an amazing thing, and everybody should strive to be able to do it because then we can provide more power to the grid. But on an actual logical standpoint, I just don't think most people can actually afford it. I honestly just don't think they can.
Yeah, but before it wasn't for that. Before
He said
Trump
it.
wasn't for the solar panel before on his first term.
That's right.
And all
So
of
I
a
mean,
sudden,
so do you think that the actual person, regular person working at McDonald's can afford solar?
Oh no, that's why I just said it's not. It depends on your circumstances. Remember, that was the caveat.
Yeah,
I said it's not for
Yeah.
everybody. But I mean, I would imagine if you're working at McDonald's, well, you probably not gonna have a house either.
Yeah, probably not.
Right.
Probably not.
Unless you're the manager of McDonald's now, then that's a different story because the managers they do decently.
Yeah.
But if you're just an average person dropping the fries, well, you
Yeah,
probably barely got an apartment.
that's true. Yeah, that's tough. So I mean, so what do you think? What do y'all think about this bill? Do y'all really think that it's modern day slavery? I mean, do you think that it's just built for wealthy individuals, or do you think that it's
Yeah.
gonna support
for the wealthy. It's for the
little
wealthy,
people?
except Elon Musk. I don't know what's going on. So, like I told you today, they don't, not on the bill. They try to get even they reduce the tax on silencers. So that's telling you the National Rifle Association, because they fund his campaign. So it's like everybody who fund his campaign, they have a share in the cake. You know what I'm saying? So this is exactly what happened. Can you imagine how many people buy silencers? Not too many, right?
Not too many, no.
You gotta
No.
have you have to have a security clearance, and you got to get cleared, don't
No,
you?
you don't. What do you mean you got to have a security clearance? What are you talking about? I got a suppressor. You don't have to have a security clearance. First of all, you got to be able to own a firearm legally.
Yeah,
that's the first thing. If you can't own a firearm legally, you can't buy a suppressor. So the same requirements on a firearm are the same requirements to purchase a suppressor. Now, what they're arguing about is the $200 tax stamp, because every time you purchase a suppressor, you got to pay $200 extra on top of what that suppressor costs.
Yeah.
Which is why is that? And then also with suppressors, what a lot of people don't know is that by law, once the person who purchased the suppressor, me, passes away, my family member, which is you either got it either is going in a some type of gun trust, which you already know about, or you will have to give it back by law. Now, I done already paid my money for it, paid my tax stamp, but because I passed away, you can't just keep it in the safe. Well, now you can because of the gun trust, but if I had not have that, yeah, you will have to return it back to the ATF.
Yeah.
Understand.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
So
crazy. But I mean, yeah, I mean,
back in the day, like you said, back in the day, they used to pay a fee, but they say it's like a tax of $200. But now you don't have to pay it. Yeah, now you don't have to pay that.
Oh, so they did away with it.
Yeah, they get away with
it. That's good. That's excellent.
They get away with it.
Yeah, that's good.
But they're gonna allow some more people to buy it. You know what I'm saying?
That's not so good. But here's the thing, though. Regardless, you still have to be. You have to, in order to buy a suppressor. If I remember correctly,
in order to buy, you need to complete a form that called ATF, and then you
need to and you have to legally be able to own a firearm.
Yes.
If you can't legally listen, if a said person can't go in the gun store and purchase a firearm legally because they're one, not a convicted felon, have not been convicted of some type of domestic violence, some type of crime, dating violence or domestic violence, you can't buy a firearm. So then you can't buy a suppressor. So if you can legally buy a firearm, then you can legally buy a suppressor. Right? Yeah. That's what the law is.
Yeah. So I mean, so why is it that he's supporting the ATF and the, more of gun laws versus Elon if Elon supported his campaign? Why do you think that happened? Or do you think that all of this is just a ploy and it's just to boost their image even more? Because
I think it's a ploy.
Because I seen something where he spoke to somebody and said, if they're not talking about us, then that's a problem. So supposedly this could all be a ploy and it might not even be real. That beat might not even be real.
Say the reason. Go ahead, Pops. I'm listening.
No, I was listening to a guy. The name of his channel is called Lionel Nation. I dropped some content with him, and well, not with him, but I reacted to one of his videos. But I was just listening to something he said. He said he thinks it's a ploy. He think they both know what they're doing. They in it together. They just to keep stirring the pot, just to keep people on edge.
Yeah, because I do believe that. Remember what you were telling me the other day. You were saying that whenever he talks, the market goes up and down. Yeah. So he probably needed a way to drop the market. You know what I'm saying? Because if the tariff deal comes through, you would imagine the market would go back up. So he probably needed something to happen so that it could drop the market again. So what was the best thing to drop the market? Elon leaving and then instantly demonizing the name based off of this big beautiful bill, which gave them the clear view for a drop in the market, which could have been planned. In my head, that could have been planned the whole time. Because I was thinking, I'm like, dang, how are they going to do it? How are they going to drop the market? It would have to be like a problem with the tariff deal. But they didn't have to do that because Elon left and then instantly, boom, they didn't have to do it.
But I still say that this is still hurting Elon's pockets.
Yeah.
Well, it's hurting Tesla pockets.
Tesla
and they were talking about get rid of Elon because Elon
exactly.
I mean,
they talk about deporting.
I think it's a breakup. I think it's a breakup because look, they say the reason why because Elon wanted to stay longer in the White House, and Donald Trump didn't want that. And it's obvious. You know what I'm saying this is what they say, and then because of that, he got mad and put everything out.
Yeah, he put out some crazy stuff.
It
might be real. You never know. Might be.
So it been hurt so bad when it's come to the stock market, when it's come to Tesla, they would never accept to do something like that. And now they even thinking about replacing him at the from his position.
Right.
They are looking for a new CEO. You know what
For
I'm
what?
saying?
Those? For those?
No, Tesla.
No
Tesla.
Tesla, man. People down here going
Yeah.
crazy, man. They mad at
Yeah, they
Elon.
know.
They
Yeah,
can't.
they are
You
looking
own
for
a
a new
Tesla, and
CEO.
people just keying your car up because they
Yeah,
mad at him. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Now's a good time to own a Rivian. That's all I can say.
yeah. And then look, and now Donald Trump, you know, remember the Tesla he purchased or Elon gave him? He's trying to
Uh-huh.
get rid of it right now.
See,
Either sell it or to give it to somebody.
that's a slap in the face. I'll take it. Yeah, Mr. President, send it to me. I'll take it. Shit. I'll definitely take it. You don't want it.
Yeah, so
Hey, Prez, if you heard it, hey, Pops will take it. He'll take
Oh,
the
I'll
Tesla.
definitely take it off your hand. I'll give you a couple of dollars for it too. I'll give you a couple of dollars. You know what I'm saying?
so
Yeah.
and then the second, and then it was asking like to have a vote in order to have a third party, a third political party. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be against like the Democrat and the Republican. It was doing a poll on X. So we never know his intention, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
maybe you're gonna have a third party soon. We never know because if they are fighting like that, it's trying. And then I was watching something today. Donald Trump said Elon Musk wanna be in the White House so bad he was thinking about to become a president of the United States. He lashed out. He said it.
I mean, he probably could do it. I think he could pull it off. He got enough money to
Who?
do it.
Who? No, it can't.
Nah.
It can't.
Nah,
And
not that
then
guy, not Elon.
and
No,
then
I don't think
Steve
so.
Bannon, that is his name. He said, Elon, they have to investigate his immigration status because he doesn't think Elon is a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, they talking about deporting him. I just seen
You
that
know,
come
it's
out.
so messy now. It's so messy. You know what I'm saying? You cannot say this is something they are playing. You don't know. You don't play with that. And then he replied, he said, Steve Bannon is a criminal. So
Mm.
if you take a look at it, the Democrats should investigate both of them because of this kind of statement. You said that he's not a U.S. citizen. A true. Personally, I don't think he's a U.S. citizen.
Isn't he from Africa?
Yeah, he's from Africa,
Yeah.
but he resides in Canada. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So he
Yeah.
went to
So when did he
multiple countries.
get his U.S. citizenship? When did that
That's
happen?
what
I
I'm
don't.
saying. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that's
saying.
I would have to agree.
You know, so and then Steve Bannon, he's the architect behind like Donald Trump. When I say politically, he's behind Donald Trump. Like when you remember the Clinton scandal, those females, he literally said that he planned the entire thing just to get Donald Trump elected. This is something about the first term, not this term, but the first one.
Wow,
It's getting deep.
And he never
that
get.
is that's crazy.
And I think he's in house arrest. He's in house arrest, but they never fully investigate him. You know, so
Man, that's
a lot of
getting
things
deep,
going
family.
on right now. A lot of things going on, but my problem is like I was talking to somebody yesterday. Even when they find out so many things about him, about they're not gonna do anything.
Hmm.
They're not.
No,
They're not.
absolutely not.
I don't know why, but nothing gonna happen to him.
No, of course
And,
not.
I agree.
He's already in. They talk. Everybody talking about what ifs, but the truth of it is when you're in, you control everything. I mean, to a certain extent. So I
no,
mean,
to a fool. They can't.
yeah,
They
pretty
can't.
much to
Yeah,
a
to
full
the full
extent.
extent. There ain't no
Yeah.
certain to the full extent.
Yeah,
That's just the way it is.
he does whatever he wants, man. This is something I mean, he proved it. He's untouchable. Nobody can touch him.
Yeah, he like Teflon Don, man. He just,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Now let's
I
see. Maybe Elon Musk. The reason why I say that because they be in the same bed pretty much. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all around the same
He
people.
knows, yeah, he
Exactly.
knows a lot. He knows a lot about him.
But you know, they can't put out too much. He can't put out too much. That's why I think that this is a
He
ploy,
can.
because
No,
if
it's not.
you it gets dangerous when you start going across the line. You know what I'm saying? When you start drawing the line, you know, I think it's
Right.
a little dangerous at that point. So I don't think he's
Yeah,
gonna go too
it is.
far.
It is.
I
But you
agree.
So
know, but look, let's leave it there. Let's leave the people something to think about. You know, family, I want you all to comment in the comment section and tell us what you think about the big beautiful bill. Tell us what you think about the EVs and you know the potential loss of the tax credits. Tell
yeah.
us what you think about keeping everything, you know, with the fuel. Tell us about what you think about ATF and this new suppressor law,
Hmm.
and not having to pay the $250.
Yeah,
I
I
think
was
that that'll
looking
be
at
good
that,
research.
man. When
Hmm.
it when did they when did they
It,
pass that? Because it looks like they still got it on the books.
yeah, it's still, yeah, but at the same thing, the proposition, you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
They
Okay.
should never propose something like that. Tell me the reason why. That's the big question, and that is another reason. So many of them say they never read it. They you know what I'm saying? They never read it
Right.
because there are so many things now. It's become a target for everybody to go to look into it because what he just said the other day. This is when people start digging what is in like the big beautiful bill. What is the
Right.
secret? So now people, and that's the reason why you see what is this female. He's from Georgia, um, Marjorie Green. What is his name? I mean, what is like? I don't remember. I don't
Megan,
remember her name.
Megan.
No, 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 not no. Marjorie, something like that.
Oh, you talking about? I think I know. Let me see. Marjorie.
Yeah, she said she didn't read the bill.
Well, wait, while Pops looks for it, you know what they say to keep people dumb, you know, put it in a book because most people not gonna read.
Yep, exactly, exactly.
Oh
And
yeah,
for those,
Marjorie Taylor Greene. She got blonde
yeah,
hair. Yeah.
exactly, yeah. And then
Yeah.
go
She said she
check
didn't
what
read
she
the
said
bill.
about the bill.
Let me see.
Check her recent post about the bill.
Bear with us, family. This is gonna be some good information for y'all.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, man. We don't know what to expect, but we know something is going on. You know what I'm saying?
There's a
We
lot
know
going
for
on. There's a lot of changes.
Yeah, man. It said, listen, it says that she getting backlash after admitting she didn't
Mhm.
know about a controversial block on AI laws in Trump's bill. Let me deep dive into it a little bit.
Yeah,
And why didn't you know about it?
I mean, is she like a important person in the whole
she is an
ordeal?
important person. Yeah,
Yeah, man. She
she is, man.
yeah, she
What
a
role does she play?
representative. Yeah.
Oh wow, she
Yeah,
didn't
she a
even read
US
it.
yeah, she a US representative. Let me see
Yeah,
of Georgia. Let me
I heard a
see.
yep.
lot of people didn't know about the ATF law either, the ATF part in the bill either. They said they don't even know about the gun laws in Canada. One of the honorable chairman, I seen that recently. He didn't know one thing about owning a gun. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I was like, that's crazy. So they just passing laws and don't even know what they're even passing because they're not reading either.
they're not reading. They're
They
not.
Yeah, they
So
said yeah, she says that she didn't know anything about it. The right to make laws or regulate AI for 10 years. Hmm.
that's
exactly.
crazy.
And then we don't know the future of the AI. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the biggest thing. What they used of it in the future, what they're gonna do. You know what I'm
Listen,
saying?
that AI stuff is dangerous, man.
It is.
It's gonna wind
It
up biting
is.
humanity in the butt.
I hope not.
Well,
It is. It is dangerous. And like, think about if they use AI to just to impersonate people doing bad stuff. You know what I'm
They already
saying?
doing
Right,
that.
they already doing that. They already tampering with
Yeah,
cameras and whatnot, videos. They
Yeah,
man,
already doing that.
that's horrible.
yeah,
They can change the camera and make it look like you, and it might not even be
Yeah,
you.
and it might not
yeah,
even be you.
exactly.
Yeah,
Throw you in
exactly.
prison for years. They're like, no, we got you on camera. Be like, no, I was at the house.
Right.
Yeah,
I was at the
Not
house.
according to
I
this
was in
video we
bed.
have. Not
yeah,
according to this video you went at the house.
yeah.
Yeah, man, they can do all kind of
And
diabolical
those
stuff,
secret
man.
files too. You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
God.
They keep something
Thank God
secret.
for
All the
a
See,
ring
secret.
camera.
and see, listen, I know
To
we
have
was
that
going.
ring
I know
camera
we
in
was
your
going to cut.
house.
Listen, I know
Who
we was
you
going to cut.
place?
We was going to cut this thing short. But see,
Mm-hmm.
what people got to understand is this: when your government, just like this thing going on with JFK, right? So they are still missing important documents from this man, from the investigation regarding this man assassination. Man, listen, I ain't gonna say it on here, but you know, it's just a lot of controversy that happened
Yeah.
around his death, and people want to know what happened, why, what did the CIA, what did they hide, what did the FBI hide? I mean, because it was a multi-faction, I don't know how many was involved, but it was alleged that people from different agencies, they was kind of involved in this thing because, at the time he was standing in between what was a controversial war that he wanted to end, wanted to pull the troops out of, and they just didn't, they wasn't with it. What was it on? What was it? Which war was that? Let me see that he was when he was president, he wanted to end, and that was like a problem too. They didn't think he should have pulled the troops out.
Involved.
It's crazy, pops. It's crazy, but it's something that people gonna have to do their research on, and they're gonna have to ask questions. It's crazy. They gonna have to ask questions.
Yeah,
But
you got to ask questions. Yeah, you have to.
yeah. But I don't know if people ever get the truth on that one. I don't know if they ever get truth on that topic.
Yeah, it's
But it's a lot of stuff, man, that people need
I
to get the
don't think
truth
so.
on.
They're not gonna put everything out, or they just gonna disappear. Then you know what I'm saying. So mm-mm.
Yeah.
Recent stuff, yes, but stuff like 10 years, 20 years ago, no, they gone. They gone.
Yeah, they
They
already
gone.
got it. That
And
already
with
happened.
with 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 with, with the Doge thing, you know what I'm saying, trying to make the government, more efficient somewhat how, but you don't know what they are really doing. You know what I'm saying? So
I think they're
some
going to introduce crypto. I think crypto is going to play a major part in the evolution of where the world is going because they're already talking about um, the Genius Act, and how they want to use stable coins in making the world more liquid. And stable coins
it
are just backed by
does.
the dollar.
I mean, think about it. Donald Trump is for it, right? I agree
I'm for
100%.
it too. I'm for it
Yeah,
too.
no, but
I'm
what you
for
have,
it.
I know, but the thing is, the way he's using it right now, it's corruption. You know what I'm saying? The way he's using it.
Well,
Like
look, give me one more chance at Trump coin. Drop another
it
one.
just
Let
it
me get
just
him.
it's just a way to give him money, but not give him money.
Yep,
Is that what I'm
that's
saying?
all it is. Yeah,
It's
Mhm.
just a way like, oh, I want you to do this for me. I'm gonna buy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. That's
So
all it is.
because of that, after 4 years, what do you think? What do you think the Democrat gonna do after 4 years because of that? They're gonna put so many regulation on that thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
You're
bad.
gonna hate it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why it's
They're
like,
gonna hate it.
yeah,
The
but
biggest
it,
problem,
yeah. Go ahead, go ahead.
the biggest problem is the fact that every like 4 years you have a new president, right?
Yeah,
And if they don't have the same conception, the same way of like govern the country, it's always gonna be chaotic after 4 years. Now it just the moment he get elected, he signed a bunch of executive order, you know what I'm saying? And then whatever Biden has trying to eliminate them and bring they're gonna do the same thing. It's a repetition. That's a big problem.
This
You
is the
know,
problem. I
on
think this is the problem.
for now, if you can invest, you know what I'm saying, buy crypto stuff like that, do it now. But expect after 4 years, you have, I mean, before 4 years, you have to sell everything because the next term,
Yeah,
I guarantee you, it's gonna be like the Democrat Party like elected a president. I guarantee you, this is what's gonna happen.
I agree with you.
You know,
This
so
is the year to
that's
do it. This is the time to do it.
yeah. So if they don't find any evidence the election was rigged, because now they are conducting investigation. There is one county in New York right now. Many people they say they vote for Kamala Harris, but they don't find any vote of her. They don't find anything, and people sworn they say they vote for her. So now there is a judge give them permission to do a handful recount.
Mm, mm.
And
So you
plus,
don't.
look at the statement Elon Musk just put out on Twitter. If it wasn't for him, what would happen?
Right. Yeah, I wonder what he meant by that.
Mm. I
And
wonder
then
too.
so many times during his campaign, he said, well, I forget his statement. It's like anybody can play with those machines, with the computers, you know what I'm saying? All that
Yeah,
stuff.
but but think about this though. For him to come out and admit something like that, don't you think that he may incur some
Illegal.
type of liability?
Illegal.
I think that's a crime to tamper with,
Crime.
you know,
Exactly.
a federal crime,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, of course.
That's why I
Of
don't think
course.
it's real.
Unless he get immunity to testify. I mean, that could always happen.
It happened before. It happened before. That's why he's here.
Right.
You know,
Hmm.
it happened before. That's why
That's why I don't think it's real.
that's why we just said he think nobody can touch him. Untouchable.
He seems like he is. Well, now that he's in the big seat, he kind of is untouchable now to a certain, as long as he don't do nothing crazy, like super crazy, he kind of good for the next 4 years.
So there's just like not even 3 hours ago. Do you remember the Salvadorian they deport? He's back in the United States.
Yeah,
Right now.
and they charging him with some crimes too.
And then the person who's supposed to he's I think he's resigned because they put too much on him. The criminal investigator.
Right.
He just resigned.
Wow. So you think they made up these charges on that
Of
on
course.
this guy?
Of course. Of course. Of course.
Sad. Sad.
Of course.
And the thing about it is, he can say all day it's a lie. It didn't happen. That wasn't me. He can say it all day, but guess what? They got control of the narrative. And that's what I mean about things like JFK, these things about like UFOs. The American people want to know about this stuff because, man, it's a lot of secrets that they don't tell the people. And they control the narrative. So if they can get away with, they can pretty much get away with it. They can come snatch you out your house right now, really. And just make up something. Say, you did this. And
that's the biggest problem nowadays.
yeah. Well, yeah. That's the issue.
They can't put anything on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, family, don't be scared. Don't be scared. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say just do the right thing, keep your head down, keep your nose clean, and stay focused.
Yeah.
But family, do y'all think that's good? I think that's a lot for them to process. I think that's a lot for them to process.
So. I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, family. Oh, go ahead.
So like we said, just we're gonna do whatever we can. You know what I'm saying? It's very good. You know what I'm saying? So whatever we can around like Saturday, you know, or Sunday.
We can double back tomorrow if y'all want. I mean, maybe the other guests will want to come on by tomorrow. They might be having enough time to be prepared.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try and tell them a little bit earlier so that they're a little bit more ready. They're ready. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, look, let me go
Absolutely.
ahead and let me close it
Oh,
out.
there is
Go
one
ahead.
thing we're gonna talk about tomorrow, the World Cup, right?
The World Cup.
Yeah, is it gonna happen in the United States because of what's going on, or are they gonna try to
Mm.
boycott it?
Well, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Something we can do our research on.
Yeah, we can do our research on it.
Well, family, we all want to be successful. We all want to be somewhere in life. But in order to do that, you got to do something that you ain't never done before. And that's the reason that we're doing this right here, right now. Everybody be blessed, be safe. I'll let Pierre and Pops go ahead and end it out, and you all be blessed.
All right. Yep. Like tomorrow we're gonna be here again. Like we would like to have more people join because we're talking about stuff that happen every day, and so many people are not aware of the situation. I mean, in the country right now. So I think it's a good time if you are not doing anything at home. It's a good time to just um, join us, ask question, all that, and also don't forget to share the video and like also.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, well, yeah, maybe we can, like I said, we can run it back tomorrow and see what we come up with and have some good conversation. So, well, y'all be blessed, and we'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Uh,
Peace.
all right, peace out.
Peace.